And we're off to the races, like I normally say. Welcome to another Almost Famous radio podcast with yours truly, Jim Francis Mesa, where almost each day, it seems, I have a wonderful, enigmatic situation. So we have great people, folks from all walks of life, anyone who's in the public eye, whether you're an author, an actor, musician, or sometimes at times we get folks that are political figures that are on this show. So thank you for making it possible for all your the viewership. And otherwise, I am beyond thrilled because this time around I got a cat who, unless you've been living under a rock, you don't know who this man is. Man is a legend. If there was if we can have a Mount Rushmore of comedians, he'd be among the best. And I'm talking about a cat that hails all the way from Long Beach. You've seen him on Nick Cannon's Wild and Out. BET's The Comic View, worked with Jamie Foxx. He's obviously a good friend of Katt Williams, Cedric the Entertainer, Eddie Griffin, Mike Epps, Snoop Dogg. Guys, he started at the Comedy Store, give it up, and was dubbed the king of the underground. My friends, give it up for Scruncho.
Hey man, what's
Scruncho,
up?
my man, how you doing?
Man, I'm always man. I'm hurting a little bit. One of my best friends got shot and killed. Comedian
Sorry to
Reggie
hear that.
Carroll, but you know, but we it just take time. Some time, pain. You gotta trust in time because that's your best antibiotic for pain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
I'm sorry to hear about your loss. I heard it happened over at with Cat Williams, right? Over at his place, I
Yeah,
believe.
well, yeah, they was definitely with Cat. They was he was in Mississippi, and they was on tour with Cat Williams, and it was at a house Cat Williams had purchased, and they was staying in, and whatever happened, somebody got shot. And I think the sad part is you want Cat to come out and tell a story of what happened, but he's
Right.
not saying and he's silent. So I'm sure his lawyers probably telling him don't say nothing, you know,
Yeah.
got him on hush. But the reality is, and making him look bad, and at
Right.
the end of the day, we want to know what happened to my friend.
That's
Reggie
right.
Carroll was like a underground legend. Like everybody loved Reggie Carroll. You know what I mean? He was like the bad
Wow.
boy in comedy. Like he was like I always call him like the fine cologne of comedy, meaning like you know everybody didn't. Everybody didn't fuck with him, but they just wanted to smell like they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know, man.
Hey
you
man,
know,
you were dubbed the king of the underground yourself, my man.
yeah,
By
man. I've been doing this comedy like this. Actually, my 30-year anniversary doing
yeah.
stand up comedy. You know what I mean? And yeah, I was titled the king of the underrated for many years. You know what I mean? But part of it was my own fault though because I
Yeah.
always put my mentality over my gift and block my own blessings.
That's
So
right.
but I
Sometimes that
did so
happens.
much. That but you know how it is. It's like it's a blessing and it's a curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. We've been following you for a while now, for a long time, and you hail from LBC, man. So,
Yeah.
hats off to all the folks from LBC. A lot of great, talented folks. Snoop, we got Fluffy, and yourself, and a lot of other people have come out of LBC. That is a very, very known fact. But you know, you've been at it for a while. You started at the Comedy Store, I believe,
Yeah.
and it's a tough business. It's a real
Mm.
tough business, and I do have some questions for you, but I wanted to talk about real quick. Kudos to you and the one man act that you have right now. The All I Needed Was a Hug. That's going to be kicking off here in LA at the Mark Taper for 2 weeks in September. Correct?
Yes, it's called All I Needed Was a Hug, a one
Mm-hmm.
man show. And a one man show is not like a comedy show. You got
No.
people make people laugh, you gotta make them cry, you gotta make them think. It's like theater. and you just up there by yourself, and it's executive produced by Tiffany Haddish and
Yeah.
Ice Cube. You know what I mean? So,
Wow.
and Chris Spencer, he a producer on it, and it's really a powerful uh, story about me. You know what I mean? So, and Clap is shot, stabbed, been to prison. You know,
Wow.
I don't even know how I'm supposed to be here, bro. It's like me just being here is that really is the greatest success of anybody' life, period. For me to just be here standing, and so I'm hella grateful, got a beautiful wife, beautiful family, I'm got a tour, you know what I mean? Got $17 cash in my pocket, I can't complain,
You got me laughing right now, man. It reminded me of Old Dirty Bastard. Would he remember Wu Tang Wednesday for all you that follow Wu Tang Wednesday? I remember he went into the welfare office. You remember that because
Yeah, I love when you
we
know
go
about
back into
Dirty
the
Bastard,
90s.
rest in peace. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Scruncho. So, you lay it out. I mean, every time you go on stage, it's a quite a treat because you let people into your life as
Right.
gritty, unfiltered, unapologetic.
Yeah.
You from the streets. The pain that you've turned that pain into something magical, man, a gift for everyone
Yeah.
to understand you better. Just take us through how did you start? When did you get the bug and said, you know what, I can do this? And who were your first mentors?
Well,
Comedy.
you know who we are, who started, who we stayed on the same street, and me and Fluffy, we stayed on the
Yes.
same street, so we started together. So it was a time when I had a Hyundai, right? This little
I
Hyundai
do.
car. Remember the
Yeah.
Hyundai? And it always
Yeah.
needed a battery. So Fluffy would come down the street with his battery from his car that didn't run and needed a transmission, and he would put his battery in my car, and we pieced up the car. We go pick up Felipe Esparza, and we
Sure.
all hit the comedy circuit. You know what I mean?
That's so
So
cool, man. All you
yeah,
guys
so
are
we all
almost
we
the
all
same
come from
age.
the mud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You all come from the same. I think
yeah.
Felipe used to stay off of First Street, right? In East LA.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
Felipe always, because they the one introduced me to the whole Mexican circuit. And I remember me, Felipe Esparza, and Fluffy, we all did a show for Suge Knight,
Oh
mother's
shit.
birthday party or something. So we was on a boat and shit. And we was like, man, we was just hoping we got paid and not get through off the boat. You know what I mean? 'Cause we were like, fuck it. As long as if they just get us off, because we didn't know we was going to leave on the boat. We thought we had to just perform. Man, we in the middle of the boat telling jokes. Next thing we know, the boat driving off. I'm like, what the fuck? you know. So
Only a
it
Suge
was,
party. Only a Suge Knight party. That's a good party, right?
oh yeah, Suge
Um,
Knight party, man. So,
I got a story because I know you work with Snoop as your boy. Many
yeah,
years ago, I used to be a limo driver, and a friend of mine got called and I to go do go up to the Chino Hills house he used to have. I don't know if he still lives up there,
yeah,
but went up to Chino Hills. I won't say where exactly, but it's up there in a nice part of town, overlooking beautiful Pomona, P Town, and
yeah,
and Claremont, and all those beautiful parts of on the east side. People don't even realize, right? Unless
yeah,
it's like you and
exactly.
I, unless we go out that way, nobody knows. Shout out to everybody out there in La Puente and my boy Smooth Mike for making this happen, making this whole conversation happen, man.
Yeah,
Smooth
Be
is the
Smooth, my
man,
master man. Be Smooth been rocking for over 20 years, so we be rocking it
That
out.
dude he's a good homie, man. I love that
And
guy.
talk about
Um,
black don't crack. Smooth still at the same age. That motherfucker still like
yep.
in his 20s.
I thought he was 25, dude.
Man, that
If it weren't,
motherfucker still not
if
age, bro. You know what I mean?
yeah, dude, because he looks super young. Oh man, this guy's so wise. I didn't get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
This
I'm like,
guy's
what
been praying to
the fuck
God,
Smooth
man.
be
The
doing?
Bible says, ask for wisdom, ask God for wisdom. And anyway, I used to drive up there, and one time we did a caravan, so it was like 2 or 3 SUVs, right, going deep. And then one of the drivers, suddenly they stopped the SUVs, and he couldn't make it to the top, and we didn't know what was going on, man. And it turns out he was out because they were smoking some good old ganja in the car, and then he couldn't take it, dude. It was out of a fucking movie, bro. It was out of a movie. They called him
Nigga,
from
that's
Batman.
fucking comedy. The driver got so high he just passed out.
They had to get another driver, dude, to drive
Hey
him in
man, that's
there.
the scene in the movie, bro. I'm telling you, that's fucking funny as fuck. I'm
So when
telling
you
you.
see him, you tell him I was part of that caravan. I remember that like yesterday. Coolest cat, Snoop, man. I
Yeah.
know he's going through some stuff right now. They're trying to cancel him, but it's a tough situation. How do you feel about this whole thing, man?
Well, first of all, it's crazy how, man, when I think about my life, right, it's almost sounding like, it's really amazing because I knew everybody. We was all before we was all stars. We was all, it's like crazy, bro. It's like me and Snoop used to work in the grocery store together in Long
What?
Beach. Yeah,
No way.
we was bag boys and shit, man. We used to work at fucking
Bad boys.
Lucky's, and we used to be bag boys and shit, bagging shit up. And we both got fired because we was stealing shit. We was stealing the inventory. You know what I mean?
You were
and
bagging it in here. You're
yeah,
bagging.
cause
It's for you. It's for
I
me.
talked Snoopy into man, just put that in the basket. And I used to manipulate him to help me stand like we used to steal big boxes of the inventory and take it out to the trash can. So one time we went back there to get all the shit after we got off work, and the manager, the staff, everybody was waiting back there for us. Took our robes and sent us on the way, bro. You
Hey,
know what I mean?
um, Scruncho, how did you get started writing comedy? Do you like it's that it just you make it look so seamlessly easy, man. Like when you're up there, I'm like, oh my God. Like I wonder if he literally writes any of this down or it's just right off the top of your I mean, it looks very improvised. You've been at it for so long. How much of it
Yeah.
is
Well,
improvised? How much of it is written down?
Well, sometimes what
Crazy.
happened is, comedy is like my creativity is my jokes come in a punchline form, and I just gotta write the setup. You know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
me, it's very easy
Right.
to create, and then
Yeah.
once I open up that portal, then I could just go anywhere where I want to go with it. Navigate once, 'cause that's the way you are. Like if you tell a joke and I start laughing, you gonna keep adding on the joke, keep adding on the joke. But if you tell a joke and I don't say nothing, it kills the joke. It kills your creativity. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Oh
So
wow.
I always was the
Interesting.
one I always laugh at my own jokes so I can keep it going. You know what I mean? So, but that's
Hey,
how it's kind of just happened. You just,
how do you deal
you
with the
know,
hecklers? How do you
man,
deal with hecklers?
I used to love fucking with the hecklers, but you know what? And I haven't had a lot of hecklers over the years. You know what I mean? Back in the days, people used to, you couldn't find a motherfucker that want to sit in the front because nobody wanted to get fucked with. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
now everybody wants to smoke. You know what I mean? I
Right.
said somebody heckler the other day. I wasn't even fucking with him. I just acting how, man, where you get that shirt from? And he jumped up and I thought he was gonna pull out a gun. This motherfucker pulled out a microphone talking about, I've been waiting on you to say something about me, motherfucker. You fuck with the wrong nigga now. Yeah, say something about my shirt. What about your shoes? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm
Hey,
like,
you know what? Needless to say, you and your homegirl, Tiffany Haddish, she grew up tough too, huh? She grew up kind of in a tough situation,
man,
went through
Tiffany
the system,
Haddish is
huh?
yeah, she a real live mud baby. You know what I mean? And when you see a
Yeah.
mud baby, you got to get out the mud. So when you really from the hood is not designed for you to stay there. What is designed for you is to get that mud on you. So when you get to where you got to go, it separates you from everybody else. You know what I mean? It's a
Right.
rawness that you get that you can only get it at the bottom. You know what I mean? So Tiffany liked that. I remember when she was, you couldn't even put lotion on her. She just looked at dusty. You could add lotion to her. She still looked at dusty because she was just grimy like that. You know what I mean? She created her own outfits and shit, and she was taking care of the house, and she was driving around with a Geostorm or with no hubcaps on that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Windows dirty. She was just being raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to see her
Wow.
at this level, and she like my little sister, I always made sure I looked out for her, even when we was, cause I always had money. You know what I mean? Cause the whole time I was doing comedy, for the first 10, 12 years, I was still selling weed and hustling and, you know what I mean? working at the car
Really?
auctions, and you know what I mean. I
It's
was
a real
mad as fuck
deal,
when they.
man.
I was mad as shit when they legalized the weed because it fucked my hustle up. You know what I mean? you know, So So
Hey,
anyway,
what do you think? Some of the cats that are busted because weed was illegal, they should get let out now, right? Because
hell yeah, this
they
motherfuckers
fucking
right now who's in jail for 20 years for getting caught with 200 pounds of weed while some corny motherfucker is riding around with 200 pounds of weed legally. That's fucked up. You know, like, you know.
dude, they even have delivery services now, like Pizza Hut.
Yeah, mama riding around. I used to train this dog. I had a dog, and I used to train him to. I used to train that motherfucker to smell weed, and then I'll
Yep.
go pull over a goddamn delivery truck, and then let
Uh,
the dog run over there and see if he can find me some weed on it. you know, weed is fucking crazy,
we
bro.
always used to get the dog stone in the hood. You remember that? And they
Hell
go,
yeah,
woo! It's like the movie, like the half baked movie. That shit is overdone in real life, dude.
hell
Woo!
yeah, for
Your
sure.
cousin,
Hey,
Kevin,
man,
he
you
used to
not
smoke
fucking
weed,
lying,
dude, in the
bro.
room. You remember
You
that?
like,
You
you
smoke
know.
right into the dogs. Everybody forgot about the cats, and the cat's like,
No.
then the dog just walks
I
sideways.
used to blow, hey, back in the days, my brother used to blow smoke in my dog's face, and my dog would just start barking like this.
Big old Rottweiler. Um, let me ask you this. You obviously have leveraged your comedy into so much, dude. You got into movies. When did you meet Mike Epps? I find the Epps brothers hysterical too, man.
Man, Mike Epps
When
is
did you
fucking
guys meet?
hilarious, bro. When we did How High, right?
Yeah,
I was in the hood in the middle of a dice game, right? And one of the guys, because I wasn't even in the movie, you know what I mean? But one of the guys didn't show up that supposed to play
yeah.
my part. He didn't show up. So they was like, Mike said, I know who could play it. So next thing I know, I'm at the barbershop in the back shooting dice. Mike come in and didn't want to do a movie. I said, what you mean doing? He said, I got a role for you, nigga. Let's go. And I said, man, don't talk to me when I'm shooting dice. Let me hit this point. And then he said, sure, what you got on the point? I said, nigga, so he put his money up. The number was a 4. And then we put his money up, and man, we cracked the dice game, and we ran and shot the movie, bro. That's a real story.
That's beautiful, bro. That is
Yeah,
so refreshing when you hear that. Like the black and brown, in comedy, you can also get into this too, how a lot of times, like, they shade on each other, the people shade on each other, man. Like
uh-huh.
at times, but it's great and refreshing that there are a lot of others that don't. And that
Yeah,
shows right there that your homie, he came up. He came up and then he brought you into the fold. I mean, needless to say, you were already a big
yeah.
comedian. You
But
just
you
had
know what?
to,
In this business, you can't get in here by yourself because, it's like, even now, you know what I mean? Like, I'm probably finna be in the new Fridays. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I got a lot of shit going. I got a 1 man show. Ice Cube executive producing
yeah,
my 1 hour special. So, but I say that to say this before even because I've been in the mud so long, man. I still
yeah.
got the big old beautiful house. I got 4 or 5 cars. Man, I got a beautiful wife. Man, I got money in the bank. And guess what? I haven't even made it to my full potential yet. You
No,
know what I
you
mean?
haven't. I still
I'm
think you
still
got
like,
way more.
if you got, I know you got your A and B celebrities, right? I'm somewhere around the J and K of entertainment, right?
You're
but, but nevertheless,
you're
man,
humble, man. You're humble for sure.
yeah, I'm extremely appreciative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Because
are.
at the end of the day, the shit I was getting in trouble for and getting my ass beat for at home and getting suspended for school. Now
Now
these
it's paying
motherfuckers
off.
paying me, bro. They paying me to get up there and to talk shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Oh
And
man.
look, man, if you compare my life to a motherfucker that work 9 to 5, I got a
Yeah.
good ass job. You know what I mean? Only
Yeah.
way I don't have a good ass job if I compare myself to like a Kevin Hart. You know what I mean? That's $100 million nigga. You know what I'm saying? But if I compare
Wow.
myself to just a normal, average, everyday, my hardworking motherfucker, shit, I got a cool ass job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know
Beautiful.
what? Kevin Hart, man, just like everybody else. I remember Kevin Hart in the horror flick. He was holding the camera in the
Yep.
cover. And he was one of the silent. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, that looks familiar. Now that I watch back, it's like it's Kevin Hart. Like
Man,
everybody
and the
kind of
cold thing
thinks,
but I love Kevin because what Kevin have taught the industry, right? He taught you how to act when you get to the next level. He the most classiest, humblest, coolest. Like we all knew each other way before the fame. But
right.
Kevin is the one that never ever changed. He's still cool. He's still funny. He's still inviting. He's still friendly. He's still generous. And his whole circle of friends are fucking rich.
Wow, that's cool, man. I
Yeah.
like that you keep it real, though. I like that
Yeah.
you keep it real, Scruncho. We're talking to Scruncho, man. I'm beyond excited because you seem to keep it real no matter what. Doesn't matter how high you get, and I don't mean with substance. I mean like
Right.
literally on the echelons, way at the top. You're
Yeah.
still the same guy, it seems, and I give you props for that, man. Hats off to you,
Thank you,
man.
man. I
You're
appreciate
doing,
you. You know,
you're
I'm
just
always
cool,
a big
man.
fan, man. I'm a big fan of your podcast. I was excited to go on it because I always tell Smooth when he told me he knew you. I said, man, get me on that shit. He said, I get you. I was
Oh,
excited, bro.
that's
So
nice, man.
yeah, man,
I
because
appreciate it.
you don't understand, man. Felipe, you know, Gabriel Iglesias,
Nice
and
guys, man.
um, man, every last one of them cats introduced me to the they used to take me to the Mexican circuit, bro. And
They loved you
I
over
would
there.
get on stage every night and man, and the Mexican crowds, homie, would show me so much love, bro, that it's like I'm really like an adopted brother, you know what I mean?
You are because at the end of the day,
They show me, man,
it's
everywhere I
the
go,
same
they show me
family,
mad love, you know what I mean? I be like, man, this
bro.
is fucking awesome, bro.
Scruncho, it's the same people. It's the same dynamics. It's the same trials and tribulations day in, day out. It's the same thing, the same soups. We run the same circles. We have, Chalino Sanchez, American Dr. Dre. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like people were selling cassettes out of their trunk, both on both sides. I mean, and now the narco corridos like rap. It's the gangster rap. I mean, it's all the same, dude. I love that. Yeah, I remember watching. God, I've seen Fluffy way back when Rudy
Yeah,
Moreno, rest in peace, used to do that, the Latino show, The Ice House. You remember that? Way
yeah.
back, Rudy Moreno. And he had him on this
Hey
one
man,
time. I said,
Me and Rudy Moreno was stranded in the airport for about 12 hours, bro. Cause we said, man, we was on a buddy pass, right? So we
yeah,
was going to do a show. It wasn't that much money, but we was flying to Texas in some little city in I forgot what it was called. A itty bitty city in Texas. So we had to fly a day early because it was a buddy pass. Man, we stayed in the airport. We was missing flight after flight, you know what I mean? Because it was a buddy pass. Man, me and Rudy stayed in the airport for about 13 hours. And by the time we got on the plane, we had just enough time to get off the plane to go directly to the fucking show, bro. You know what I mean?
good times. Good times. God rest his soul. Another great
Man, I
cat.
love Rudy Moreno, man. That's
He's
my
from my
guy right
neighborhood,
there.
dude. He grew
Yeah,
up in my
hit me,
neighborhood
boy.
in the Heights. We're all from
Yeah.
the Heights, and his uncle was a good friend of mine. So,
Uh-huh.
knew the guy for many, many years. Really good guy all the way around. God rest his
Yeah.
soul.
And you know who else? You know who else was my good buddy that always show me love and put me on his shows? Fucking Willie Barcino. That's my guy, man.
Oh, that dude is. I've not met him. I know he has a podcast, and we have a lot of friends in common. He, yeah, that dude is really down to earth.
Yeah,
He's
and his
really down
son
and
is
never
fucking
changes.
smart. Like I knew his
Yeah,
son when he was little, and now that motherfucker be on TikTok, and his
yeah.
son like reinvented his dad and blew his dad up on TikTok. I'm like, how you do that? So he turned me on to
Wow.
Junior. So like, man, motherfucker, man, Willie is
You know,
like,
I had George Lopez is a good dude. I had him on not on the podcast, but I used to be his limo driver, and he showed me a lot of love, man. George is a
oh
good dude.
man, there you
And
go.
he had a podcast with Gil Carrillo, who I've had on this show. When you get a chance, watch that. that
Uh,
episode with Gil Carrillo. He was the guy that caught the Night Stalker. You know,
what?
yeah,
Damn.
he was one of
What
the
did he do with the money?
detectives.
How much money he get out of it catching a nice
I don't
stalker?
know. He's a detective, dude. But he was telling me how it was weird because so he's Chicano, Richard Ramirez Chicano. They kind of had like kind of that lingo, they sort of
Uh-huh.
knew how to communicate. So you kind of got to the core of him, of his soul somehow. I don't know about his soul, is
Uh-huh.
probably in hell now, but Richard Ramirez anyway. But he was able to sort of tip everybody off and say, listen, it's not many people that are killing, it's one guy. It's one guy. He
Yeah,
narrows it
yeah, I
down to
remember
one
that shit,
dude.
that fucking night
Yeah,
stalker shit.
crazy, right? In the 80s. Where were you? Where were you in 85? You're in
Man,
grade school, huh?
I was in Arizona selling drugs. Shit, I was a fucking, I was a
You're like,
fucking,
fuck Richard. I'll get him. I'll sell him some
yeah.
drugs, reel him in, right?
Yeah, I mean, I used to just, I always had a criminal mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
But see,
like
the
my
criminal
dad.
mind.
My
Go ahead.
dad was like a good dad and a bad dad. Like he was bad because he taught me how to do crime, but he is a good dad because he taught me how to do crime the right way. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, you
Right.
know,
So if you want to, yeah, most definitely, if you do something, even if it's bad, do it the right way. I like that. The paradox, right? It's funny.
yeah, the
Um,
paradox, yeah.
let me ask you, Scruncho, what was it like landing on your face the first time, like dying on stage? You know what I mean? Or did bombing the first time feel like?
Man, the first time I bombed on stage, man, they told me to get on stage, right? So I was so cocky that I thought I can do this shit, right? So the first time I go do an open mic, right, I tell all my family I'm gonna start doing comedy. I'm gonna be a big time comedian. Y'all better go come check me out. Not knowing how this shit work. So I invite my whole family and say, y'all come out at 7. I gotta go down there early to sign the list. Y'all be down there by 7. So when I get down there early, I see all these people in front of the comedy store. So I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, in my narcissist mind, I'm thinking all the people here to see me. So I didn't even know they was all comedians waiting to sign the list, right? And that's the first time it kind of got real. So by the time my family got up there at 7, I signed the list and I supposed to have been on accordion at 3 minutes. I should have been on stage by 7:30. Bro, I didn't get on stage till about 1:30 that morning, right? It wasn't nobody in there except my family, right? And when they called me to the stage, bro, man, that microphone, it was like walking to death row. They called me by my fucking government name. They like Anthony McKinley. No music. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then when I walked, I said, man, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I was so scared. I never felt fear. So I'm walking down the aisle like death row. I see my little sister say, "Go get him, brother." You know, I pick up the fucking microphone like this. That shit felt like a dumbbell. It was heavy as fuck, man. Listen, I was so motherfucking scared. Look, the lights, the spotlight that was shining on me, man, that shit felt like heaven. I thought that was God shining the light on me. I couldn't see shit. Man, I was nervous as a motherfucker. All I could see is my
And your whole
heart
family's
leaving.
egging you on as you're going through
Yeah,
the
look, I was so nervous, bro. All I seen was my heart leaving out the back door. My heart was like, I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. I was on stage, man, looking like a fucking. And then listen, so I go to tell a joke. The shit was so awful, right? I flew my grandmother in to come see me. She stood up and said, "You flew me all the way out here for this shit?" She like, tell a joke, motherfucker. Man, my whole family was heckling me and shit. My brother talking about, I knew that motherfucker wasn't funny. He got me coming way out here for him to do this shit. Tell a joke, nigga. What you waiting on? So, man, my first
Oh
time was the
man.
worst, bro. You know,
Yeah.
I think I'm the only comedian where first time on stage got heckled by my grandmama. You know?
To think you flew all the way over here, all right.
Yeah,
Um,
like,
uh, let me ask you, what do you think about, do people really rip off the jokes and all that stuff? You remember when Rogan went at Carlos Mencia about the stealing of jokes?
yeah.
Um, do people just take deliberately, or like, can you
That's when
say,
I started
can I
like
say,
I didn't
hey,
know Joe.
hey,
I mean, when I seen Joe Rogan do that, That's when I took a liking to Joe Rogan. Like after that, I was always one of his fans. I haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but I had so much respect for that because, you know, just step. If you steal, homie, if you steal my shit, I'ma step to you. But now, if a person steal my joke and the people that stole my jokes, I always give them a benefit of the doubt. I say, look, bro, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound crazy, but I don't know how you got the joke or where you got it from. But that is my joke, bro, and I love my jokes like I love my kids and all my. But I think I love my jokes a little bit more. I said so. My advice is leave my shit alone because I gotta protect what I create. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes they respect it and don't do it. You know what I mean? I said, but the only thing about this time, I can talk to you fairly, but if I see you do it again, I really ain't got no more conversation. This our
Yeah.
last conversation. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
can do my joke, but just know it come with paranoia. You know what I mean? Be paranoid, motherfucker,
This
because
show's packing a punch.
yeah, motherfucker. I mean, if you can take a punch, motherfucker, go on and keep doing the joke, bitch, because I'm going to slap the shit out of you eventually. So, fuck it. You know what I mean? So, I see you still doing my joke. You basically said, yeah, I can take your
Holy
punch.
shit.
You know what I mean? So,
Um,
yeah, that's the way I feel about it.
Scruncho, it's fucking awesome talking to you, man. Um, dude, how did what happened with what happened? What happened with what's his name? Who got bitch slapped by what's his name? Um, I'm drawing blanks here. Uh we're talking about Chris Rock. You got
Oh,
did you
Chris,
what
yeah.
was the whole misunderstanding? Were you gonna go up to him or somebody wrote somewhere did some kind of post about you coming going up to him after the show or something like that? Was that just a
Now I seen him
misunderstanding?
standing in front of the Laugh Act, in front of the comedy store, right?
Mhm.
And here, first of all, let me just say, when you talk about Mount Rushmores, right, you got to include Chris Rock.
For
Now,
sure.
I think Chris Rock is absolutely uh the setups, the timing, the punchlines. He is the epitome of an amazing comedian, right? So
Mhm.
it's not it had nothing to do with his funny. You know what I mean? But I was telling it when I shook his hand. I said, "I look, I'm gonna shake your hand, but I don't like your comedy." You know what I'm saying? Meaning, I think you're funny, but I don't fuck with your point of view. You know what I mean? Your
Yeah.
POV is because Chris Rock got a joke where he said, "I love African Americans, but I can't stand niggas." Right?
Okay.
I'm a nigga. I can't stand African Americans, but I love me some niggas. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we think opposite because African Americans hate niggas. You know,
Yeah.
African Americans sometimes is the most racist motherfucker, self-racist people in the world because the people
Yep.
they hate the most and always trying to teach and do better and pull up your pants and act like this is they harder on niggas than it hard on niggas, but they kiss white folks' ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it bothers me. Like I'm a nigga. I love all my niggas. Like a white boy be walking down the street with his black friend, and they be a corporate world, and they'll see a white guy that's homeless on meth and shit, and they'll act like the motherfucker don't exist. They'll just keep walking, right? The
Right.
same white guy and a black guy walking down the street, and then a black guy see a homeless nigga sagging, or then he feel like he have to explain to the white boy why the nigga looking like that, or want to come to the nigga, man, don't you embarrassing us, pull your pants, all that kind of shit. That kind of shit irritate me. You know what I mean? I fuck with my people as is. You know what I mean? However you is, that might not be where you at gonna end up in your life, but wherever you at in your life, nigga, I'm not gonna knock you. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
if you a
right.
gangster, if you a bum, if you a crackhead, if you a I don't give a fuck what you is, you know what I mean? Long as you ain't harming nobody, man, I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? I treat everybody equally. And
That's
African
right.
Americans not like that. Real niggas like that. We treat everybody equally. African Americans always trying to be white accepted. Their whole thing is
Yeah.
no, so I
I know
don't
what
like
you
the
mean,
type of
man.
motherfuckers. So like last
Yeah.
time I'm at a Chris Rock show, his jokes always basically like white people are amazing, niggas ain't shit. White people are amazing, niggas ain't shit. We always gotta get the ass end of the joke with these old But other than that, I think he's an amazing. I don't might
Yeah,
not like his
genius.
POV,
Right.
or just like with Gary Owens. I love Gary Owens as a human being, but I don't like his comedy. You know what I mean? Because he kind of play off black culture, but really don't fuck with us like that. You know what I mean? He fuck with the ones that he's super, the elite ones, but he really don't fuck with niggas. You know what I'm saying? But he always thought the black woman is the black man. So I don't really like that shit. But the white boy, I love Bill Burr. Bill Burr is my favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bill
Comedian.
Burr's funny,
So
man. I like him.
not a color thing. It's not like I don't like his uh Gary Owens, but I don't like his privileges. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
his white skin is his friend in the black community. My black skin is not my friend in the black community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's the way I be feeling. And sometimes the raw truth hurt feelings. You know what I mean? You
Right,
can't tell
right.
a person. Sometimes you say the raw truth, you kind of sound like a hater, but you know, if the truth is hating, then I guess I'm a hater. You know what I mean? Well, fuck it.
I think you're loved by so many people, and you're the people's people. And sometimes, you're right. Like truth hurts sometimes, and many a times folks sell out. There are a lot of sellouts out there. We know it. They'll sell out
Yeah,
also because they want to reach a wider audience, and they also want the folks that hire them. They give them the money up front,
yeah,
and so they kind of pander to a certain group of people,
yeah.
if you
They
will. Let me
like
ask
that,
you
man. And, so,
something.
and like with my people, I don't like. There's two kind of black people I don't fuck with. I don't fuck with black people that can't play spades, and I don't fuck with black people that golf. You know what I mean?
Are you sure you're not golfing? Not even miniature golfing?
I fucking hate golf. I don't like the mindset black people have when they're on the golf course. You know what I mean?
Get it. I get
They
it.
think
Get it.
they fucking. I
There's
don't
a
know. They be thinking. They act like all their credit scores is over 800 or some shit. Like get your ass out of here. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing worse to me than a
oh,
bougie nigga.
right, right, right. I get
Yeah.
you. I get you. I see where you're coming from. Comedy has changed a lot, in the last few years, with TikTok, social media, and whatnot. How do you see the role of the stand-up comedian today as opposed to before? All these
Well, you know what?
platforms.
It's good and it's bad. You got to understand the way it is. Meaning, like the art of comedy is no longer interested and no longer needed because it's not a talent based industry no more. You know what I mean? So
Oh wow.
talent used to drive the car. Now
Right.
talent is outside hitchhiking and shit because you don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't need the talent. And a lot of the comedians that's coming in the game now, they not coming in for the talent. They coming in for the money and the fame. So
Yeah.
if you want the money and the fame, you don't need the talent. You just need the art. You need the title of having an art. Hey, I'm a comedian. Then you put together a bunch of trash because trash sells better than the art. You know what I mean? Because with the art, it's a slow cook. Trash come by the bundles, so I can say Tyler Perry shit is trash. I can say that. Then Tyler Perry's gonna put out his big old bag of money and say, "Yeah, but look at the money though." You know what I mean? So people in it for the money and not necessarily the funny. You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
get
where
it.
we at with it right now. So, and plus, a lot of young comedians, I kind of feel sorry for them because number one, they can't take directions or corrections, so I don't try to tell them shit. And number two, they never learn the art. They they get turned out behind. They like they get one funny internet joke. You know what I mean? Like you could blow up and just come up with a saying. You can say dang dang dang. And they say, oh, they're gonna dang 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 man. And next
Yeah,
thing you know,
right,
you
right.
on tour and you standing behind the curtains and there's 500 people out there to see you and all you going. They only want to hear you say dang 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 dang. So now you the dang dang man. You come out dang 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 dang. And after
Yeah.
7 minutes, they looking at you like you're crazy because that's all you bring to the table.
Right, right. So
You know?
it's fair to say, based on the little I know about comedy that you guys, it's like an amalgamation, like a plethora of a comedy of the best that you've over the years that have worked for you, but also it's true to you because it should start with your own life, right? And
Yeah.
obviously in your case, that's very true and visible in all your shows. So you start with the best sets that you have, and then you have all this you have all this work that you have in your toolbox, so to speak. So when you come out and the curtains open, you have a lot to draw from, and it's not
Right.
like you said nowadays
Yeah.
one little hit wonder and then that's it. It's like a firecracker. It's like a dud
Well, what
almost.
happened is because the difference between me and them, and the reason why I'm the best at what I do, like technically speaking, none of these comedians can't fuck with me, and they all know it, right? Because
Right.
the difference between me and them is they talking about
Experience.
what they seen. They talk about what they seen and what they heard. They talk about other celebrities. They talking about people, right?
Right. Right.
I'm talking about what I survived. You know,
Yes.
my
Wow.
my my
That's deep.
stories are authentic. So I got too much history that I survived by, so I could tell you. So everything I come is coming from an authentic place. You know what I mean? See, you can never grow with current affairs because
No.
current affairs don't even last long enough for you to polish them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before you can
Yeah.
even get it polished as a comedian, it's a whole new hot topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if
Right.
you don't look within, then you could never really grow properly. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know,
You have a you have an extensive knowledge also over 30 years,
yeah,
and it's easy to just come off and you pop off with something and it goes viral. It's like a one hit wonder. You want to write that high when the high is dead. So is your career. You know what I mean? But when
exactly.
a person has like you've gone past the test of time almost. You're at the point where you're a seasoned comedian. You've gone through the highs and the lows, right?
Right.
And it's like that's a lot, man. That's longevity, and that means that you have what it takes to go out there and what works with, because there's also would you say, I don't know so much with you, but other comedians do have, but I'm sure you have some jokes and bits that work with the crowd. They say know your crowd, right? So
Right.
you say maybe some stuff that's more relatable to one group of people versus another group of people, and sometimes you have that much in your toolbox before,
Yeah.
because you've been around for as long as you have, and then on
Yeah.
the newer ones you can go and try one joke here. It's not going to land the same way with the whole
But
group
the
of people.
difference between, see, the way I tell jokes, some people talk about people, I talk about spirits, right? So if you
Right.
talk about the spirits of people instead of the people of people, it changes the perspective of what you talk about. Case an
Right.
example. If I talk about an alcoholic, my
Right.
alcoholic dad or whatever, guess what? It's an alcoholic dad in Germany. It's an alcoholic
That's
dad in
right.
Africa,
That's right.
because the spirit of alcoholism is worldwide. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So therefore, when I talk about the spirit and your behavioral, that transcends to every culture and race because they're all the
Right.
same under the
Super
sun. You know what I
relatable.
mean?
Yeah. and
Yeah.
and and everyone has a drunk dad or a drunk uncle, or everyone knows someone's got everyone knows someone that's sold drugs. Everyone knows that's gotten high on bunk weed back in the day when
Yeah,
you were younger.
you know the spirits, and when you
Yeah.
look, a lot of comedians can't grow because they can't get their mind off the internet. So their
So
mind,
true.
the internet kills their ability to create, because now they can't create; they can only copy because they don't take time to create. In order to create, you got to get off the camera and go in the streets and go live and travel, and you got to do things. But
That's
if you're
right.
in front of the computer, you have no substance, you have no story. You really
No.
have no life. Your life is so generic that only thing you
Yeah.
can do is mimic what you see and influence you on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with
Yeah.
me, I was in the mud. I was in the mud for a
Yeah.
lot of years. I was on the
Yeah.
streets getting mine the hard way.
That's
So
that's beautiful, man.
yeah,
Scruncho, we're almost out of time. I'm super excited to have had you on. I mean, we could talk probably for hours. You and I have so many stories in common. So most definitely, we would like to maybe next year because you're going to be super busy, doing your shows and whatnot. And we'll try to get you into the studio in person. That would be fun to be able to break bread with you probably, and Smooth and a few other people, and actually talk in person. I got a lot of cool stories to share with you also. Yeah, your trajectory is unbelievable, and it speaks for itself. And at the end of the day, that speaks more volumes than anything anyone could come up with the top of their head, or the internet, like you just finished
Right.
saying. So that's truth be told, man. And from you're really wise, man. I really appreciate this. So once again, Scruncho, you have you're going to start off in LA. You're going to have 2 weeks at the Mark Taper. I'll have that up. Once the show drops, I'll have all of the dates up.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll have that up as soon as the show drops. I'll drop it very soon, actually in a couple of days. I want you to I'll make sure that's available. Also, make sure people follow you. What's your social media account?
Man, it's the only Scruncho on Instagram, and it's Anthony B Scruncho on Facebook. And you can go to OG Scruncho on the website to get tickets for my one man show, or you go to Eventbrite. And the name of the one man show is called All I Need Is a Hug. It's
All I
executive
need is a
produced by
hug.
Tiffany Haddish, and it's like a gangster love story. It's really beautiful.
It's going to be unfiltered, right? And the most important
Unfiltered.
thing is you're gonna get Scruncho. You're gonna get at the core of Scruncho's life, and you're gonna get basically a lot of stuff, the truth behind the myth, the legend, Mr.
Man,
Scruncho.
all day.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks again, man, for getting on. It's been such an honor, man. So hello and goodbye until we meet again, guys. That's my show, Almost Famous Radio Podcast, with yours truly, Jim Francis Mesa. Follow Scruncho.
Appreciate you all day, man.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, man. Peace out, my brother. Be
Thank you.
well.
Okay, I thank you, man. I have fun.
Thank you.
Okay.